Tommy, it's definitely not been the off season. Obviously, you qualify for the Bassmaster Classic after a great second half of the season. The Bassmaster Classic's on your home body of water. You're excited to get the season started. You come down with a bout of viral meningitis. We've seen that with a couple elite anglers in the past that's really knocked him back.
Yes.
After recovering from that, he has dealt with Bells Palsy, so the right side of his face is paralysis. It's a little bit paralyzed, and he has to wear an eye patch to keep his eye from getting too dried out during a day of competition. And so for the fact that he's in the top 10 today, I mean.
Oh, it's a miracle. I mean, those two things are serious enough just for that.
Mark Menendez had that.
Same
Exactly.
thing.
Knocked him out for.
Knocked out half a season for him.
And if you're a sports fan and you're saying, well, this isn't super hard to do, it's just fishing, 8 to 10 hours a day, wind and waves, sun beating down on you, late nights, early mornings, you have to be, on point in this sport, especially with your health when it comes to coming into an event strong.
I think that's a good candidate for VMC on point, since you mentioned them. Use that word.
And it was
right
odd.
there.
He went to ERs in Knoxville. He canceled Christmas. And his next door neighbor was an infectious disease doctor. Hooked him up, got him right in the hospital within 5 minutes after the other hospital had sent him home saying, just headaches.
So the day after Christmas, December 26th, I woke up with a horrible headache, the worst headache of my life, and it persisted for several days. And I went to an urgent care. They didn't know what was wrong with me. A couple of days later, I went to an ER room, emergency room. They didn't know what was wrong. They just kept saying migraines, and I knew it was something different. Then I went to another doctor several days later. Long story short, I was 10 days into this whole deal, and I actually talked to my neighbor, my next door neighbor, Tedra. She's a doctor, and she was able to diagnose what I had, and it was meningitis. And then it also led to Bells Palsy. After the 2 weeks was up, the meningitis went away, which, that was the most serious thing. It was viral meningitis. That went away, but the Bells Palsy has persisted. As you can tell probably from the trees blowing behind me, it's really windy out here. And so my right eyelid does not work. So I'm having to actually patch my eye with an adhesive patch to keep the wind out. And about every hour or two, I put gel drops in that eye just to keep it lubricated. So that's the most tricky thing, is just to pay attention to your eye, and just to keep that in good shape. So that's been the most tricky thing. But other than that, didn't really have high expectations. I was actually just glad to be out here, just to get out of the house and come down here and start catching them. And it's just turned into a phenomenal week.